When you truly understand woodworking, you begin to realize that some of the most powerful art does not start with perfect lumber or expensive materials, but with discarded pieces of wood that others overlook, ignore, or throw away. And after decades of working with wood, welcome to the channel. Today's video is all about creative woodworking art and how discarded pieces of wood can be transformed into something meaningful and beautiful when combined with solid wood. This is an inspiring journey into cheap woodworking art, where creativity matters more than expensive materials. If you're a woodworker, an artist, or someone who loves the idea of turning overlooked wood into valuable art, this process will show you how imagination and experience can turn scraps into standout pieces. I can confidently say that creativity often grows strongest where limitations exist, because scraps, offcuts, and forgotten fragments carry stories, textures, and character that polished boards simply cannot replicate. And this is exactly where cheap woodworking art transforms into meaningful solid wood art, not through cost, but through vision, patience, and respect for the material. And as this video unfolds, I want you to see discarded wood not as waste, but as potential, as raw creative energy waiting for direction, because every piece, no matter how small or irregular, has something to offer when combined thoughtfully with solid wood foundations. And the magic begins the moment you stop asking what the wood used to be and start imagining what it could become. Because woodworking art at its best is about transformation, taking chaos and shaping harmony. And this approach is not only artistically satisfying, but incredibly practical for anyone looking to create affordable, sellable, and gift-worthy pieces without high material costs. And when you spread out discarded wood on your bench, you'll notice the incredible diversity of grain, color, density, and wear, each piece shaped by its past use. And instead of sanding away its history completely, the key is learning how to highlight those imperfections, letting cracks, nail holes, weathering, and uneven edges become part of the design rather than flaws to hide, because authenticity is what gives woodworking art emotional depth. And when these reclaimed elements are combined with solid wood, something powerful happens. The stability and strength of solid wood grounds the composition, while the reclaimed pieces bring texture, contrast, and narrative, creating a balance that feels intentional and refined, even though the materials themselves may have cost very little. And this balance is essential when creating art that stands out, because viewers and buyers can sense when a piece is thoughtfully composed versus randomly assembled. And that difference determines whether your work feels cheap or cleverly economical. And from years of experience, I've learned that the secret lies in composition, understanding how to arrange shapes, tones, and grain directions so the eye flows naturally across the piece, discovering new details the longer it's observed. And this is where woodworking shifts from craft to art, because you are no longer just joining wood, you're telling a story through form and texture. And when working with discarded pieces, you also gain creative freedom, because there is no pressure to preserve expensive lumber, allowing you to experiment boldly, cut intuitively, and explore designs you might otherwise avoid. And this freedom often leads to the most original ideas, because innovation thrives when fear of waste disappears. And as you begin assembling reclaimed fragments alongside solid wood elements, you'll notice how contrast becomes your strongest design tool, rough against smooth, dark against light, aged against fresh. And this visual tension is what draws attention and creates interest, especially in wall art, tabletop decor, or sculptural pieces designed for modern interiors. And what makes this approach especially powerful for cheap woodworking art is that the perceived value of the finished piece far exceeds the cost of materials, because buyers respond to uniqueness, craftsmanship, and story rather than price tags. And when someone asks where the wood came from and you can say it was rescued, reimagined, and handcrafted, the piece instantly gains meaning, making it ideal not only for selling but also for gifting. Because people love objects that carry a sense of purpose and sustainability. And as this project takes shape, the process itself becomes deeply satisfying, because you are solving creative problems in real time, fitting irregular pieces together, adjusting angles, refining proportions, and allowing the design to evolve naturally rather than forcing it into a predetermined plan. And this adaptive mindset is crucial when working with reclaimed wood, because it teaches you to listen to the material, to respond rather than dominate, and that relationship between maker and wood is what gives handcrafted art its soul. And as tools meet timber, you'll notice how even simple techniques can produce stunning results when applied with intention. Because woodworking art does not require complex joinery to be impactful. It requires clarity of vision and attention to detail. How edges meet, how surfaces transition, how light interacts with texture. And these details elevate cheap materials into refined artwork. And from a business perspective, this approach opens doors because it lowers startup costs while allowing for endless variation, meaning no two pieces are ever exactly the same, which increases exclusivity and demand. And in a world flooded with mass-produced decor, handcrafted wood art made from reclaimed materials stands out precisely because it cannot be replicated by machines. And that uniqueness is your strongest selling point. And when you present your work, whether online or in person, the story of transformation becomes part of the product. Because customers are not just buying wood, they are buying creativity, sustainability, and craftsmanship. And for gift-giving, this makes reclaimed wood art especially meaningful because it symbolizes renewal, thoughtfulness, and care, qualities that resonate deeply on a personal level. And as the final piece comes together, you'll see how discarded wood, once scattered and forgotten, now forms a cohesive design anchored by solid wood strength, creating an artwork that feels intentional, balanced, and emotionally engaging. And this moment is always powerful because it proves that value is not defined by material cost, but by creative insight. And this realization changes the way you approach woodworking forever. Because once you see potential in scraps, you begin to see opportunity everywhere in broken furniture, construction leftovers, fallen branches, and offcuts from previous projects, and each becomes a starting point rather than an endpoint. And this mindset not only fuels creativity, but also supports sustainable practices, reducing waste while creating beauty. And as viewers watch this process unfold, they are not just learning techniques, they are witnessing a philosophy that art can emerge from what others discard, that skill matters more than expense, and that patience and imagination can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. And this message resonates deeply with both aspiring woodworkers and experienced makers, because it reminds us why we started working with wood in the first place, not for perfection, but for connection, expression, and transformation. And as the finished piece stands complete, solid wood providing structure and reclaimed fragments offering texture and story, it becomes clear that cheap woodworking art does not mean low quality. It means smart creativity, thoughtful design, and respect for materials. And that understanding is what separates true craftsmen from casual hobbyists. Because mastery is not about having the best resources, but about making the best use of what you have. And as this video comes to a close, the hope is that you walk away seeing discarded wood differently, not as waste, but as opportunity, not as limitation, but as inspiration, ready to explore your own creative woodworking art ideas that combine affordability with authenticity and create pieces that stand out, sell well, and carry meaning far beyond their humble beginnings. As we come to the end of this project, I hope you now see discarded wood in a completely different way. What once looked like waste can become powerful woodworking art when shaped with care, balance, and intention. Combining reclaimed pieces with solid wood proves that cheap materials can still produce high-quality, meaningful results. If this video inspired you, please like, share, and leave a comment below. Your support helps this channel grow and encourages more creative woodworking ideas. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next project.